dear Bagginses and Boffins.
Welcome back, everyone. Today we are talking about the Amazon series update, and fans are really giving it to Amazon. Quotes like "does not look like the Lord of the Rings" and "garbage" are being thrown around. So let's get into it. So, obviously, this Amazon show has quickly declined from the ecstatic excitement that I think a lot of us had going into the news that Amazon, first had purchased the rights to something Lord of the Rings related, and then when we found out that they were actually in production. And with a lot of the fans' sentiments, I think I've also come down off of the initial overhyped excitement, and I'm starting to come back down to earth and think about the logistics and the problems they're going to have in creating a show with such a high bar that Peter Jackson set. But I will say I think I would take issue. I don't think it looked like garbage. At least to me. I know it's not the same look that we all wanted, but I don't think it's complete garbage either. There are some elements of it, especially the wall climbing or the ice climbing of Galadriel, that I thought maybe could use some more work, getting the CGI to look better, or just maybe taking out some CGI and having a bit more real world, like real actors doing stuff kind of thing. But I wouldn't say garbage. So what is your take on this whole thing? So this is talking about the official teaser trailer that we've already covered. We did laugh at it. We did make some comments, but to me, garbage is maybe too harsh.
Maybe.
Maybe. Oh no! So you do think it's
No.
garbage?
I mean, you're right. It's probably too early to say garbage, but it's all about the dwarfs not having beard, the dwarf woman not having a beard, and this ice climbing looks exactly like kind of Castle Blackish from Game of Thrones.
To me, it looks worse. I actually think it looks worse than when Jon Snow was climbing the wall.
Well, it looks worse, but it looks like it's ripping it off.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's basically a shot for shot remake of it, but it looks bad, and it's Galadriel doing it for some reason. But I will say that it does not look like Peter Jackson's, and apparently we now know why. That's because they don't have the rights to it. They can't use any of the props that Peter Jackson made. I don't understand why. There's no way Peter Jackson is like, no, screw him. I'm not gonna let them. Like, he would probably let them use it if they.
And I mean, what's this? Why is the shard of Narsil in this thatched hut?
Yeah,
we'll have to find out.
Yeah, we're in for a cool. I mean, I'm just looking at some of these comments. This show is going to be so bad it makes me sad, and that's by Bulbo Baggins. Yeah, there's so many questions. The posters have more questions. Meteorite Man makes me have questions. The short-haired Elrond is got me having questions. I'm getting into that one right now here. There's a lot of questions. Now, I am able to go with the flow for a lot of stuff. But I too, if there isn't something that can, because this is supposed to be a prequel to they said at the outset of this, when they took this project on, that they did want to make something within those connected universes in some way, where this does lead somewhat into the Hobbit and into the original trilogy. So to me, they're missing a lot of those easy connecting pieces. Like if you could just have some of those props and place them strategically in this, it would instantly give all fans a sigh of relief, and it would help all of us fans know what's going on that much quicker. I know it's not always about us, but these are small things. Like, that's a small piece that you can throw in that will instantly have all of us who know just understand. And it's so easy. One show that comes to mind, which not my favorite show, but is Halo, the new Halo show that's out. I have a lot of problems with it, but there's a lot of elements.
I have not watched it. Is it?
Oh,
should
well, yeah, it's not. It is okay. I will say it's actually probably a good show to compare because it is not Halo.
Does it follow the video game story, or what does it do?
No, it's its own thing.
Okay.
It's completely gone off on its own thing. I think it's supposed to lead. So it's a prequel to the first video game, but they've changed some of the pre-established lore already within the show. So then it doesn't quite bridge into the video game. So I have a lot of problems with the story. I have a lot of problems with the fact that Master Chief takes his helmet off like right away and runs around without a helmet for most of it. I have a lot of problems, but there are some elements to it where when you see them, so for example, they have the rights to all of the weapons. So when you see the sniper rifle, when you see a grenade, when you see an assault rifle, you being a Halo player,
or the Needler.
Or the Needler. They have a Needler, yeah. So when you see those elements, you instantly know what that is, and it feels good, even though I don't like the show that much. So it's so easy to do. And in fact, the opening scene, I think a lot of fans of Halo, that opening scene of the first episode of the show, there's a lot going on, a lot of callbacks to different equipment, and just the way the Master Chief moves and talks and some of the dialogue, that I think that moment fans were really getting into it. And then the show kind of gets derailed and goes on its own story and kind of starts cutting out the lore of the Halo video games. But I'm kind of seeing a good comparison here, because that's essentially what we're going to have without the callbacks to props. So without those props, it's like we have to be told what this stuff is now. And I know you have to tell new audiences that, but there's a way to do it where it's not, you don't have to like hold it up and say, here's this sword and this is why it's powerful. You know what I mean? Like, for us watching it, as soon as we see a prop that we're familiar with, we'll know. And so we'll be able to start thinking and pay attention to other elements while you explain to the new people what's going on. And so it's just these moments that we're going to miss. And that's what makes me sad about it. I'm not mad or upset at the show. I know they just don't have access to this stuff, but like I just don't get why they wouldn't get it. It's so easy. And these props are just sitting there. Like, what is Peter Jackson or whoever owns them going to be doing? Is it New Line Cinema probably owns them? Whoever. You know, they're just sitting there in a warehouse or they're gone. But if they are still there, and even if they're not still there, you just need the rights for the look. You'll just make your own.
Yeah.
So I just don't get why they wouldn't at least try. Maybe they tried, maybe they couldn't get it, but it's just insane to me that they couldn't get it. So yeah, that's my big criticism of the aesthetic when it comes to that. I'm okay with short hair Elrond. I'm okay with Warrior Galadriel to some degree. I do think she would be better served to be the Gandalf of this story, as a more of a wise, sage-like person within the group, if she has a group. It looks like she has a group. I mean, here's a still from oh, you can't see the group behind her. Here's like a still from the mountain climbing expedition, and it's just it does look very, I don't know, it does look very similar to Jon Snow. And then obviously the princess, the dwarven princess without a beard. I think we've covered that to death. We've done so many episodes on that. I'm kind of, they can go back and watch our other videos about it.
She shaved. That's it.
Yeah, she shaved, and even though that's against the rules, she did it because she was embarrassed by something and was forced to do it. Uh, the cultural reasons. I don't know. I'm gonna go with some of these, but again, these are things where like it's so like I didn't know she was a dwarf at first.
Right.
I didn't know what she was. I thought she was just a person. And so you lose a lot of these elements in a fantasy story. When you see Gimli, when you see Legolas, you know they're not human. Like right away, based on their look. And you're going to lose a lot of that, it looks like, with what they're doing. So yeah, the fans are already calling this garbage. I'm going to hold off. I want to see at least an episode to start saying it's garbage or not. If we get that 20-minute footage that the Tolkien experts and influencers got, if we see that, maybe we'll have a bit better understanding of what we're in store for. But we don't have access to anything yet. We just have the one trailer.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of hard right now, but I will say the trailer, the posters, and some of the stills, I can see why fans are upset because it doesn't look at all like the original trilogy. But yeah, for me it's the props. If they could just have a handful, that's all you need. But
Yeah.
But I don't think we're gonna have it. And you know what? I actually think Amazon maybe prefers not to have it in a weird way, because they kind of want to make their own thing, and then like they want to sell the rights to it or something, like so you can make toys.
Yeah.
So,
okay, I see.
but then just buy the rights to the original. Like, I don't know. Maybe New Line. Maybe that's what happened. They're like, hey, can we use these props? And I'm like, sure. And then Amazon's like, well, we want some of the merch, the merch sales. And New Line is like, no. So Amazon's like, screw you. We're gonna make our own swords and we're gonna make our own armor, and it's gonna look completely different, and nobody is gonna notice. Oh man. Yeah, I think that's it for this one. I got nothing more to add to these moments. If we get new clips, then we can kind of react and talk about them. But we really have the same stuff that we keep harping on in terms of beardless dwarves and weird CGI that looks kind of out of place.
I regret to announce this is the end. I bid you all a very fond farewell.